Hi guys, it's morning time and I am going to make my morning coffee. We've talked about breakfast before, but I've never really showed you how I pull a shot um, of caffeine, that is. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on the kind of choices that exist in my house on making a cup of coffee. Uh, we have these two machines. This is an espresso machine where you would pull your own shot. You would, whoops. You would fill the portafilter with ground coffee. You would tamp it down, and then after, if you would like some steamed milk, you would steam your own milk in this container off the side of this machine. Versus this fully automatic machine over here where you basically just push a button and it makes what you want. Now we have other types of coffee makers as well. We have the French press, which makes a nice cup of coffee actually. We also have the pour over. So this is coffee that you put into a filter and put it into a cup like this and sort of pour the hot water over. This does look like a chemistry lab, I admit. This is the filter that you would use in your pour over or in making a cold brew. And all of this may seem kind of overwhelming right now for, Barista 101. It is for me sometime too. But we will only look at one way of making coffee this morning. But another choice in this household is the sock method. This was something that I brought back as a Peace Corps volunteer from the Dominican Republic, and this basically works as a filter too. So you put your grounds in here, put it in your cup, and pour hot water into it and let the coffee strain out the other end. We call this a coffee sock. And lastly, we have this AeroPress. You can see the filter at the end of this. We would use this a lot on the boat, and you would put your coffee grounds in here, let it sort of percolate for a little while, and then push the plunger through to push your coffee out the other end into a waiting coffee cup. So that's not a bad method either. Now they all require sort of their idiosyncrasies. This is going to take a tiny little paper filter at the bottom of this that you need to buy. The pour over needs this special filter right here that looks like this before you fold it properly to fit that vessel. And then on top of all that, there are a variety of cups that you can use to drink your coffee from. You can use what I would like to call the sort of American full-size cup. That would be this. Or the demi cup. You can see it's a little bit smaller. I think of this as more of the European size of coffee. The to-go cup, I showed you this before. This is a Keep cup made in Australia. This comes in different sizes. Large or small. A variety of other demi tasses. These are quite pretty. I bought these at antique stores, as you can see. And a variety of espresso cups. So small, no milk, unless maybe it's a macchiato with a tiny little splash of milk. And of course the proper size spoon for all of these. So you have your teaspoon for your sort of American size mug, and you have your smaller spoon for your little demi-tasses. All right. But what I'm going to do today is I'm not going to get into tamping the coffee and putting it in the this machine, which requires me to do everything manually. There's definitely an upside to that, but there's a few downsides as well. But I am going to pull my coffee from an automatic machine that we've really grown to like a lot. So let's go over here so I can show you that. All right. So this is the DeLonghi automatic maker versus the Escasso, where you need to pull your own shots. And this, as you can see up here, or perhaps you can't, says descale. So all machines require that you clean them once in a while because the water will leave mineral deposits in your coffee and it will make it taste not as good as it can. So we buy DeLonghi Eco Decalc. It comes in a bottle like this, and it looks like this morning I'm going to have to be decalcifying or descaling this coffee machine. All right. Now, you can see that there is milk in this machine, and I've already given you the lowdown on using whole milk. I like Farmer's Cow because this is from a cooperative of farmers in Connecticut that all sort of pool their milk together. So we're buying locally, and again, this is pasteurized, not ultra pasteurized. The coffee in the machine is from Brooklyn. I ordered it online. It's Say Coffee. I think I've shown you this before. This particular blend is called Vilmar Cuellar. So that's what's in the top of this machine. So I pour the coffee into the top of the machine. Oh, it looks like it needs some. So let's do that. You can set the grind here, and I have it set at the finest grind so you can get a nice cup of espresso from that. So you can do a little bit here in terms of personalizing your cup of coffee. All right. The milk is in the container already. You can see at the top, you can actually set this to very foamy to almost just hot milk, depending on if you're looking for a latte or a cappuccino. Cappuccino is going to be more foamy. Latte is going to be less foamy. Hence, being able to make latte art. If the foam is very, very stiff, you can't do pretty designs with that. Unfortunately, with this machine, because it is automatic, we won't be doing latte art. This machine that allows you to steam your own milk allows you to take this and pour your milk into your coffee and make latte art. All right. So I have this set at espresso, strong taste. Might be able to see that there. And I have the milk set at in between sort of a hard foam and a just soft liquid. So now really all I need to do is make sure that the water container has water in it, which it does, and you can see there's a filter in this too, because they say the coffee you drink is only as good as the water that's going into it, as well as the beans and milk, but those would be your 3 ingredients, right? So it makes it really important. And now I'm just going to take my warmed mug. I do have water in this, so I'm going to put that in here. Place my mug underneath the spouts of the milk and the machine, and then just press cappuccino. So you can hear the beans grinding, and you'll see the milk actually will go into this glass first. Now, again, it's coming out quite liquidy because that's the way that I like it. More like a latte, less like a cappuccino. And now the 2 shots of espresso coffee into the machine. Into the cup. La-di-da-da-da. Not a lot of control here. It's kind of like driving an automatic car versus a stick. Now, I've driven a stick all my life. And as a side note, I'm considering getting rid of my Jeep because it has no get up and go at all. So although it's a fun bombing around car in the summer, it's not a fun car to commute in, especially on the highway. So I'm thinking of the Mazda 5, I think it's called. It's a crossover vehicle, and unfortunately it's automatic. It'll be my first automatic. So I don't know if any of you have the Mazda SUV out there and want to make any comments. Anyway, this cup of coffee is done. It's not that pretty when you have the machine do it yourself. This kind of looks like fang marks from a snake or something. So that is not what I would call latte art. But I guess they do say you eat with your eyes first. So in this case, I'd be like, not too impressed. In fact, it's kind of putting me off a little bit. So I'm going to stir that up. I don't want to have to see that. Maybe just look at some pretty foam on top. I think this looks nicer. And you can see this cup, which I really like. It's made by a woman, I think in Washington State. I picked it up in Florida. It has an indentation for your finger and thumb and fits perfectly in the palm of your hand. So I'm really enjoying this mug, honestly. And the coffee inside it, yeah, this will get me through the day, at least till 4 o'clock. So thanks for joining me. Maybe in another video we will look at some other ways of making coffee in this household. But I have to say, this is our go-to because the upside to an automatic machine is that the coffee is going to taste the same every single time, no matter what the humidity outside, no matter whether the machine has warmed up, as in this case of the manual machine, enough or not quite enough. It gets very picky, this manual machine. So we'll look at that next time. Have a good day. Bye.